Hello again guys, this is Jason from RE/MAX Real Estate Center, and this week we are going to go over the 5 members of your team when you are looking to list. You're looking around your place, you know what, it's nice. I got a lot more stuff than I did when I moved in 3 years ago. We got a kid on the way, I don't know what to do, and I think we're gonna need a bigger yard. I really love a pool. Like, I want that chef's kitchen I've been dreaming about since I was a kid. Maybe I can just work with the place I got? I don't know. There could be a number of reasons why you want to make the move, and that's totally understandable. Sometimes lives change, and your needs change, and your wants change, and that's all part of the process. So where do you want to start? Okay, these are the 5 people that you're going to want to get in touch with who will be part of the team to make the process easier for you. Now, the coolest, most fun one to sit down with is going to be your realtor. Your realtor's the best. Your realtor's going to walk you through the process of what listing is going to look like in terms of the paperwork, what to expect for showings, open houses, all that jazz. And your realtor's going to be able to advise you on what's been going on in your neighborhood. They'll explain to you what properties have listed on your street, around the corner, what developments are on their way that are going to improve the value of your home. And they're going to do it because they do this every day. They walk the streets, they know the neighborhoods, they're involved, they're looking at the hot sheets, they know what is happening in the market. That's what we do. Your realtor's going to come in and they're going to advise you on some things that you might want to do to increase the value of your home. The realtor will generally come in and say things like paint wouldn't hurt, touching up the hardware in your kitchens or bathrooms is going to help, or carpet's out and yours hasn't been changed since the 60s. So maybe swapping that out to a hardwood would really go a long way. Every instance is different, and the realtor's going to be the one looking at your home, looking at what they're going to be able to sell. What are the main features we need to drive home with people? And in order to help with that process, your realtor is going to bring on number 2. And number 2 is going to be the stager. Home staging is one of those things that some people don't really see the value. They don't really know what to make of it. Others are going to say, I already keep my house really clean. I don't need a stager. But that's not really what a stager's about. The way that the real estate market is going right now is that internet is king. Almost every transaction is going to be done by someone who has looked up a listing online. They saw it on realtor.ca or it came in through the portal that they're set up with. Before the photos are taken, your place has to look great. And that is including the virtual tours that are becoming more and more common. The better you can make your place look online and in photos, the more likely you are to get those people to actually make the drive down from Toronto or Hamilton or London to come and check your place out. I like to line it up so that a day after the stager comes through, we get the photographer. Advertising online is vital right now. Almost every transaction is going to be done by someone who at least looked at a property online, and getting it in front of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people through online advertising it is the game right now. It's a big part of the market. There's a lot of weight on the photographer, in my opinion, and they have a big responsibility to do your property justice. So having a photographer that is known and trusted and has an extensive history of good quality work is key. Another thing your photographer should be doing, and likely will, is going to be a virtual tour. It's a way for people who don't come through your home to click their way through the rooms of your house and see a 360 view of each room that they enter. Photos are still very important. Great job, team member number 3, the photographer. In a very busy multiple offer situation, I've worked with buyers a number of times, and with millennials becoming a very large group of the buying population, a lot of them have entered in this position where you are already a little bit wary because you're entering a position where there are 7 or 10 offers on a property, and it's also your first time. So you're a little nervous and you don't really know what you're walking into. You don't really feel like you know what questions to ask. What I've seen a few times is when offers start piling up, first-time buyers especially will say, I'm not interested in putting in an offer if I don't get to have an inspection. I need to know what I'm walking into. I'm not confident enough. I haven't done enough deals to know what to look out for, what not to look out for. And so if I can't do an inspection, I'm out. I'm walking away from the deal. I just can't. Now, a way you can get around this when you're listing your property is to do a pre-list inspection. You as the seller can, you know what, I'm confident in my home. I'm aware I've been maintaining it very well for the last 5 or 10 years. here, I'll pay for an inspector to come through. I'll pay the couple $100 and you can have a copy of the inspection. There's nothing that you need to be worried about. All you need to do as a buyer is bring me your best offer. So, team member number 4, in some cases, should be an inspector. An inspector is going to allow you to basically put on paper what you already know about your property, which is that it's been well maintained for years, the roof was done by a professional, the windows were updated not that long ago, and they're still in great condition. If you can start getting some of these big things on paper and verified by an inspector, buyers know what they're getting into and they'll be more confident to offer you the best dollar. In many cases, the couple $100 it costs to get an inspector through your property is going to hands down be worth it. And in some cases, it can make you thousands of bucks. Team member number 5 is going to be important on both the buying and selling side, and that is going to be the lawyer. They do a lot when it comes to the transaction in terms of looking at the fine print of your agreement and making sure that it's protecting you as best it can. The lawyer is also going to be the one to pass along any details. If you have any outstanding liens against your property or notices from the government about fees that you owe or anything like that, the lawyer is going to be the one to identify those for you, and they are going to be the one who's going to help transfer your name off that title and onto a new one if you're purchasing again, or just to make sure it's removed properly if you're just selling to downsize into a rental. The lawyer will also be your first point of contact if there is an amendment that the buyer and seller agree to make on the contract. A realtor can help out with that, but they'll usually do it under the guidance of a lawyer just to make sure that it's all being done properly. This can be anything from changing the closing date to maybe throwing in an extra little clause there if the seller intends to maybe stay on the property for a month after closing for whatever reason. There are a number of ways that a lawyer can still stay involved there, but their main thing after all of the agreements have been verified and everything looks good on that front is they're going to be focused on the title of the property to make sure that when you sell it, it is free and clear for the buyer to take over. So there you have it. These are going to be the 5 key people that are going to come up when you start thinking about listing your property. This is the team that is going to make it easy for you. You may need to bring in a few ringers. Maybe you need somebody to look at your septic bed or do a pool inspection or professionally close your pool in the fall. There are a number of sort of tertiary people that may come into the mix, but these 5 are going to be very, very consistent, and you're going to see a lot of them when you go to list your property. Thank you all for tuning in again this week. I really, really appreciate it. This is Jason Van Amersfoort from RE/MAX Real Estate Center. Take care, and I'll see you next week.